Yo guys, your boy Chronos and I'm back with another video, and this is the FIFA World Cup recap day 6. And in day 6, we only had 3 games. I found that better. I was able to watch all 3 of them and I highly enjoyed these games. They were very enjoyable and very contested, especially Iran versus New Zealand. Of all teams, I was not expecting New Zealand to score 2 goals. It was 2-2, but it was a very hotly contested game where it looked like there would have been a winner. And New Zealand, for most of it, looked like they were going to win this game. They had a lot of chances. They were playing some really nice balls in, and the team really shocked me in how well they played together. I thought it was just gonna be the Chris Wood show, but news just in, man like just scored 2 goals, bruv. It was crazy. This guy was very impressive. I enjoyed both his goals, very good goals, and also shout out to Chris Wood, because even though I said it was gonna be, the Chris Wood show, it wasn't, but he was very effective in his role to play for the New Zealand team. He was very crucial, especially for that first goal, that touch, bringing it down and then laying it up for just to smash it in. It was a great goal, but also the setup it had to be perfect, and it was. And Chris Wood was crucial in that goal and in the rest of the game. His hold-up play was very well, and you could see that he was probably the one with the most quality on the pitch for New Zealand, and it really showed. But it didn't like take away from how good the whole team played in New Zealand. I think they haven't been in the World Cup before. I'm not sure if they have been in the World Cup before, but they're not clearly the usual suspects, that come into the FIFA World Cup. They weren't expected to be doing anything in this World Cup, like of any note at all. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have had them coming in 4th. But, mate, they came and they were wanting to win. Like, they were coming to win. They weren't coming to draw the game or lose or, just have a good time. They were coming in to win. They had so much conviction in that game. It really shocked me, and I thought they were going to do it. But Iran, they weren't going to take this game lying down. They came back firing, and they had some good chances of their own, and they were able to secure 2 goals to get that point, that crucial point, considering that their group stage, I'm pretty sure they're all drawn, if I'm not mistaken. Group G, yeah, they've all drawn, so that was a much needed point for them to go 1-1-1-1. So it's all to play for in their next games. So fantastic performance from New Zealand, but also well-respected responses from Iran. And it was a back and forth game at times, but mostly it was, in my opinion, more edging towards New Zealand. I felt like they looked the more threatening when they were coming up with their chances. I thought they were going to do it. Like, some of their quality that they have in that team was really surprising. I didn't know any of them. And shout out to that brown fella, bro. There was man like Singh. I haven't seen an Indian person play in the World Cup before. And apparently the commentator said he was like the second, like, of Indian origin ever to play in the World Cup. So I'm like, shout out, bruv. I was like, geez, we got ourselves a brown guy in the in the World Cup. It's cool to see. It's cool to see, man. Shout out to that Indian brother there. He plays for New Zealand, of course, but like still, that name Singh is definitely not New Zealand, So his origin, his ethnicity, his parents were probably from India, but obviously he was raised in New Zealand and he represents New Zealand. But shout out to him, man. It was cool to see an Indian person. I've never seen an Indian person in a World Cup, so that's cool, man. But yeah, let's get into the next game. The next game was one of the most hotly awaited games to watch. Everyone wanted to watch this one. Everyone was calling this the big one. It was Senegal versus France. The former FIFA World Cup champions versus the uncrowned kings of AFCON. Mate, it was it was a big one. And I'm not gonna lie to you, for majority of the game, I thought it was a decently contested match. Senegal had loads of chances and they had an offside goal, I think two or maybe one. I'm not sure, but they had some chances that I was like, yo, they should have buried. And if they got that goal not disallowed, man, it could have been a different game. There were so many chances and Senegal will be kicking themselves. Or should I say specifically Nicholas Jackson, you ain't getting away with this, bruv. Been keeping an eye on you. Man, I don't want to blame it all on him, but like, bruv, you slyly costed Senegal some of those goals, bruv. I can't believe it. It seemed like it was born offside the amount of times I heard the whistle being blown for Nicholas Jackson going too early, man. He was offside in such crucial moments when you want your striker to be onside and in the right positions. He just kept coming up short. And even his goal that he scored that was considered offside, like it was offside, sorry, not considered. It was offside, yeah. It was a fantastic goal. And oh my days, if it just wasn't ruled off, mate, there would have been a whole different story about Nicholas Jackson. But because he was offside and he came offside a couple more times after that, it just it just comes back to haunt him really and haunt Senegal because man, it was 1-1, hotly contested. I thought, you know what? Senegal can really pat themselves on the back for a well-deserved draw. But no, France said, mate, we are the former world champions. Bruv, and when you look at the team, you just keep listing off names and be like, rah, that's a world-class player. That's a world-class player. That's a world-class player. Everyone is full of talent in that team. It's actually ridiculous, you know. Like when I thought, maybe they won't be as good. I just thought they won't be as good as they were in the previous World Cups, you know, that this run might not be as well. You know, it's also the last run of Deschamps, you know, and maybe his managing style has kind of, you know, aged out for the national team. But mate, looking at that team, they don't need Deschamps, bruv. They are dangerous just by themselves. You look at all of them, man. Desiree Doué. You got flipping Kylian Mbappe, who scored 2 goals, and his second goal was a chicken zinger, mate. They had Marcola. Marcola comes in and he says, you know what? Dembele ain't showing up. Let me get myself a goal. Bam, he comes on. I don't even think it was 20 seconds, mate. And man scored. It was insane. Insane scenes. France was showing up in that second half. They really, really showed up. And Senegal, they couldn't keep up, unfortunately. They just couldn't. Mendy, shout out to him. I thought he made some great saves, but you can't save them all, man. And they were just piling on the pressure, and they were really just trying things, man. Mbappe just turned around and said, you know, I can just ping it from here. And mate, he did that, and he had Mendy beat. It was so unexpected. And even though Mendy was in a good position to really catch it, man, Mbappe here with so much venom, he weren't catching it, man. So, yo, it was great to see that the star players of the World Cup showing up because Mbappe showed up in that one. He looked fantastic. And you know he always shows up for the World Cup. But it's nice to see the key players, the ones that we watch for, you know, that we watch that team for, we support those national teams for. We go, oh, that's the first guy on the sheet that we think of, you know. Mbappe, you think of France, you do think of Mbappe, man. So it's great to see him doing well. And then we have the third, but not least, final game of this day. And it was insane from Norway, mate. Norway versus what was it again? Yes, sorry, it was Iraq. Iraq versus Norway. And at the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, Iraq was kind of playing well, you know. They were kind of keeping up a bit. And I felt like they really, in that first half, they really showed their quality. They were like, yo, we're going to come out and really step on that. And I felt like Norway seemed like they had a bit of a slower start. The guys are all big dudes, but it just seemed like they were getting pressured by these Iraqis, man. They were really piling on the pressure, high velocity running. You could see them catching up and really putting so much pressure and taking the ball off Norway, making them make mistakes at times that they were able to dispossess them multiple times in that first half. And I was like, yo, we might have a game on. They might upset Norway. And I'm not sure, but I swear it was Iraq that scored first. If I'm not mistaken. No. No. They didn't score first, but they responded after a 1-0 from Haaland. I mean, Haaland, man, it's another one. We had MBAPPE showing up. Haaland said, yo, he's got two goals. Bet. I'ma score 2 goals. Mate, man, you had the commentator saying before, like, oh yeah, Mbappe is gonna be the one that's the candidate to get the golden boot. Man, they saw Haaland and they were like, oh yeah, no, let me reevaluate that. He's in this World Cup. Oh my days. He might actually get the golden boot. Mate, he came in and he's undeniable. The presence of him, he only shows up in the final third, but he is a true striker. And what he does it better than anyone, honestly. This guy is just a goal machine, literally. He's just a beast. He's just a guy you would love to just go, you know what? Stay up there because I know once we get to you, almost an 80 to 90% goal ratio. You could almost always count on him to score, you know? And he just, mate, he even makes them make mistakes. That's his presence alone was too much for Iraq at times. He made them make a mistake for that second goal. It was crazy. And that first goal, he's just undeniable, bro. He just that big physical presence, and he just forced it in. He's just like, I don't care, man. It's me. I'm coming out of nowhere, and he just busts through the defense and just slides in that goal. I was like, ah, man, here we go. Haaland's come back. He's here. He's live. He's kicking, and man, after that, there was a really good response from Iraq and they carried it on till the end of that half. But honestly, once that second half started, it was a whole new Norway. They were like, yeah, there is no way that we're going to lose this game. And they came back firing. It was only a matter of time. With the way they were piling on the pressure, Iraq just couldn't handle it. It was like a different level. These guys just went up a gear and Iraq seemed to like lose that steam. I think, kind of like Morocco, they put so much energy into that first half that I think it was just not sustainable in that second half. And they weren't playing bad. Mind you, Iraq had some chances, but Norway was just really pressing them down and grinding them down and really taking shot after shot until eventually they made a mistake. Haaland scores, then they score another goal, and right at the end, they had to really, twist the knife in and capitalize on a 4-1 right at the end of the game. And that's another like big time player, a big guy, like, a star player scoring and providing his qualities to the World Cup. We had Mbappe and then we had Haaland, and they both showed goals. They showed us why we love them. And it was great to see. Now we just hope that Messi in the next day and Ronaldo in the day after that show some. No, actually, in the same day. Yeah, it'll be tomorrow, day 7. Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. They've got their games. Hopefully, they can show out as well, because that's what we're looking for. Everyone, come on, you know it, guys. Everyone is looking to see if Ronaldo or Messi can do something, or if they can face each other. I think it will literally make people's minds explode if it was. Argentina versus Portugal. Hopefully, if they could get to the finals, which I don't know if it's actually possible, but you know, if they could even just get to, let's say, the quarterfinals or semifinals, it will be insane to see them both face each other. But before that, can they actually show us some good quality football and some goals? They're goal scorers. That's what we watch them for. We want to see Messi score. We want to see Cristiano Ronaldo smash them in. So let's see, guys. We're going to be here tomorrow for that day 7 recap where there will be quite a few more games on. And yeah, I'll be here to do them. So peace. Also, don't forget, Galoon. Next up, they are next up against Croatia. Come on, England. All right, guys. Peace.